Hello everybody, it's Mel. Thank you for joining me today for a pre-Christmas unhaul and haul. So it is the 20th of December when you are seeing this video. In order to make a little bit of room for some books I potentially will receive at Christmas, I've decided to do a little bit of an unhaul. But I do also have a couple of books that I need to show you that I hauled prior to this whole Christmas season. I do actually also have 2 books that I just received off a friend for Christmas, but I will save that for my Christmas haul. I'm not really sure how much balance of the books per se I'm doing in this particular video because I'm unhauling like 3 or 4 and hauling 2, but that's okay. That's how it goes sometimes. So anyway, let's do the unhaul first. The only thing is though that with the exception of my shelf destruct list, which you will see at some point in my Bookmas. So Bookmas will be coming up for me from the 25th of December, from Christmas Day, for a couple of weeks. I try to put up 1 video a day for that fortnight, and I'm currently planning on doing that, but it will start on Christmas Day. Anyway, so you'll see my shelf destruct video, which has got some books I'm planning on trying and possibly unhauling, or possibly not. We will see. But those are the other books that I potentially would unhaul, but I will not be doing that today because I want to give the shelf destruct, you know, a little bit of a chance. I hope that made sense. But anyway, let's talk about the books I am unhauling today. The first of these is Blackout, which is a collection of short stories written by a bunch of different Black authors. So we have Angie Thomas, Nicola Yoon, Nick Stone, Danielle Clayton, Tiffany D. Jackson. And as much as I have enjoyed some of the books I've read from some of these authors, and as much as I definitely need to read more books by Black authors, I just am not really that much of a short story reader. I do feel a bit bad because this was a book that was given to me as a prize from Meredith, who organised a Australian booktuber meetup, or Australian and New Zealand, I should say, booktuber meetup back in June. And I really appreciate that I got this book as a prize, but the honest truth is I don't think I'm going to read it. It is young adult fiction as far as I can tell, so I'm going to take this to a local high school because I think that would really do more good there. So I'm hoping that Meredith doesn't mind that I'm taking this to a high school. I think she'll actually appreciate that. But yeah, this is gonna go. Then we have The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. Now, I really enjoyed this book. It's not that I'm getting rid of it because I haven't really enjoyed it. I just honestly don't think I'm going to read it. And again, I think it's better off going to our local high school because I just think it's better off going to a high school where they will read it and get something out of it than sitting on my shelf not being read. It's a fantastic story. It is about this young girl, or young woman, Star. When she's in high school, a friend of hers is basically shot while being Black. I can't remember what the kind of excuse was, but it causes all sorts of tension in her local, where she's from, in her local suburb, and it's a discussion about police corruption, about Black deaths in custody, or not even Black deaths in custody, you know, being killed because of being Black, race relations in America. And I just think it's a really worthwhile read. Like I said, it was really well written, really meaningful, hit hard, and I'm really glad I read it, but I'd rather it go out into the world. I've had it for a number of years now, read it once, not again. So I'd rather go out in the world where it's going to do some good and be appreciated than sit on my shelf and not do any of those things. So yeah, this one's going. And then the final of the 3 books I'm unhauling today is A Study in Drowning by Ava Reid. Don't get me wrong, I did enjoy this book. I actually enjoyed it more than I was expecting to, but I don't think I'm going to reread it, and I don't think I'm going to continue with the series. As far as I knew, this was a standalone. I read it, I got halfway through before I realised it was actually not a standalone, and I'm happy with the way it ended. I don't know that it needs a follow-up, so yeah, I'm quite happy to just say I read this, I enjoyed it, but I don't feel the need to keep hold of it. So it is about Effie, who is absolutely obsessed with a fairy tale story that was written by an author called Emrys Meritus, and when he dies, his son, I think, starts a competition for architects she's an architecture student and she applies in the competition to make a new house for his estate. And she goes and then she meets a young man at the university as well, who's doing literature. He is studying Murden's papers and determined to prove her favourite author is a fraud. And they start to investigate whether he is or is not a fraud. Like I said, it was quite interesting. It was reasonably well written. It was quite fun to read, but I just won't go back to it, so it's going to go. This was a gift from Pages with Paige, so thank you very much, Paige. I should say that both Meredith and Paige's channels will be linked down below. And then I have 2 books that I need to haul because they are not Christmas presents at all. They are books that I've hauled recently. So the first one of those is Among the Burning Flowers by Samantha Shannon. I think this comes in between, it's a part of the Roots of Chaos series by Samantha Shannon. I believe it comes between A Day of Fallen Night and The Priory of the Orange Tree. I love that series. I love those 2 books, so I'm expecting to love this one. It is a lot thinner than the other 2. You'd think I would have got to it by now, given how much I love those books. But I was supposed to buddy read it with my friend Alison, and I'm not sure if we're still planning to do that, so I'm just holding on to do that with her, but I'll need to check with her whether she still wants to. It's absolutely stunning. The covers of these books are so beautiful, and yeah, I'm excited to read this one. This is a fantasy, epic fantasy about dragons, as you can see from the cover. And then the second book I'm hauling today is Boudica's Daughter by Elodie Harper. So this is I think like a feminist retelling of the myth of Boudica. So it says, Boudica, infamous warrior, queen of the British Iceni tribe, and mastermind of one of history's greatest revolts. Her defeat spelled ruin for her people, yet still her name is enough to strike fear into Roman hearts. Thought of the woman who grew up in her shadow. The woman who has her mother's looks and cunning, but a spirit all of her own. The woman to whom the goddess of war strikes the cruelest of blows. The woman whose desperate bid for survival will take her from Britain's sacred marshlands to the glittering facades of Nero's Rome. Born to a legend, forced to fight, determined to succeed, meet Selena, Boudica's daughter. I just think it sounds absolutely fantastic. I love a myth retelling. I love the story of Boudica. I studied Roman history. I studied classics. I studied British Roman history when I was in high school. Loved it. Have absolutely loved any books about the Celts, and so I'm super excited to read this one. I have another book on my TBR by Elodie Harper even, which I haven't read yet, which I really need to get to, which I'm really excited about as well, but I haven't got to, and I've had it for a long time. But I really want to read this one first because I just love the story of Boudica, so I think this will be really interesting. And again, absolutely stunning cover. So those are the books that I am unhauling and the books that I have hauled recently, so that's the video for today. Let me know if you have read any of these books, what you thought of them. Please don't be offended by me getting rid of any of those books, and let me know if you've read either of the other 2 books that I have hauled and what you thought of them. And if you would like to leave me a comment but you don't know what, then leave me a horse emoji because we have a horse on this cover. But yeah, that's everything from me today. So thank you so much for joining me today. I really, really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would absolutely love it if you would subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, like I said, thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.